Good morning. Welcome everybody to the NFT morning. Today it's a special edition because it's not only an NFT morning, it's a 100C morning. And if you see us on the video, you can see that this is John. And like almost every day, I am with my dear Rem. What's up, Rem?
Hello everyone, so happy to be here.
So, and like every month, like actually, every last week of the month, depending on the day, we have the chance to be with the 100 Collector team. And today we are with Fanny. What's up, Fanny?
Hey, good.
Hello Fanny.
And with Pauline. Hey, Pauline.
Hey,
Hi.
hi guys. How are you?
So we have a lot of things to talk about. Actually, Fanny and myself had the chance to be in Palo Alto last week, this week actually, for the launch of the big mega opening of the Node Foundation, and so yeah, I think we have a lot of things to say. We have a lot of things to talk about. Just because just in one word, it's basically the Node Foundation acquired the CryptoPunk IP a year ago. I think they did an announcement almost a year ago. They bought the CryptoPunk IP from Yuga Labs, and with this idea of preservation of CryptoPunk identity and moreover digital art and preservation, propagation, I don't know, but it's and 1 year later, actually I think like everybody was there, like everybody, a lot of key people from the digital art space, were in Palo Alto for the opening of this gallery. So a lot of report, a lot of questions, but before I just wanted to remind everybody and talk a little bit, about 100C, because 100C is always active on this kind of events. But maybe just Pauline, in few sentences, how things are going in 100 Collector right now.
Things are going really, really nice. We closed, I know you did a whole recap of last year at the end of December, so you know how we closed the year. We're opening the year with, Fanny was our representative in Palo Alto, so she will be talking about it, but we're going to Qatar next week. There is a lot of great things where we'll be present: Hong Kong, Madrid, Lisbon, Basel, and so on and so forth. So this year is going to be very busy again, and we are cooking some new things as well, so it's going to be cool.
So what is happening? Like because it's not Art Basel. What is happening in Qatar next week? I'm sorry, just curiosity.
It is Art Basel.
Already next week? Wow.
Yeah, they are doing the first edition.
Wow, things are going fast.
Yeah. Next week it starts on Tuesday, on the 3rd.
Okay. So Art Basel next week. Okay, fine. And then big program, lot of things, and you will be in Lisbon for NFC also.
Of course.
Hey. So
yes.
Happy to renew the partnership and do even more. Maybe we'll have the chance to talk about it later. But so Node Foundation, Fanny. Just, I started to talk about preservation of the CryptoPunk IP, but I'm pretty sure
you just went right into it. Like, no, straight to the complicated topic. But no, I like it. It's 9 a.m. Let's just do it.
No, but
leave the Band-Aid.
no, but what is, because, especially in this kind of area, we've been talking a lot about this keyword that is a stewardship, or and basically maybe you can tell us a bit more about the mission, what is supposed to do this foundation, how it works, how you see it basically.
So first, I think one important thing I think was at the opening of the Node Foundation, so was in Palo Alto, and which is very close to San Francisco. And they actually timed the opening with the San Francisco Art Week, which is important, I think, with the context and the storytelling. That San Francisco, they could have tied it to like any like tech event, and they did not, because I think this is like what you started talking about, like this acquisition by the Node Foundation, which is a nonprofit like of the CryptoPunk IP. It followed the before like CryptoPunk IP was owned by Yuga Lab, and it was a for-profit company, like really focused on the market, and we can debate as long as we want how we like it or not. This was a huge shift from market focus to like preservation. Not saying that the market is not there anymore, and we'll talk about that, but I think this is this long-term preservation is really what the Node Foundation puts at the center of its mission. And so it was founded by two Mickey, so I'm not gonna butcher his name, so I'm just gonna
Malka.
Mickey Malka and Becky Kleiner. And so they founded it on like the premise of opening a space to show the CryptoPunks, but not only. I think this is important that this is the first exhibition, but it really is a physical space that is supposed to support and welcome and be taken over by many other on-chain artists. And when I say on-chain artists, I mean artists and creative projects that use the blockchain as a medium, and really just more than selling their art as NFTs, really innovating with the technology. And I think this was really part of that first CryptoPunk exhibition that was produced actually by Natalie Stone, and with the help of Amanda Schmidt, who is an art advisor. And really it was, I think Natalie said something like it's an exhibition that is supposed to show you you're supposed to go into the exhibition to live within the CryptoPunk project. It's not just a passive you watching the CryptoPunk on the wall and going from one artwork to another. It was very highly immersive, and we can talk about that later. But also on top of showing the CryptoPunks, they're also running an Ethereum node, a full Ethereum node within the space. And what that means is that you're talking about preservation, is that they did not just acquire the IP or promise to educate people and bring more collectors to know about the CryptoPunks, but they really said, okay, we're gonna help preserve and run the Ethereum blockchain where the CryptoPunks live. And this is massive, because this is brand new, and when you think about it, no museum has the capability yet to do that.
No, but it's a museal approach in a way. This is what museum would be, and we know that, for example, we know the story of the Centre Pompidou CryptoPunk, that so far, I'm not sure, but it's still not in the Centre Pompidou wallet or something like this. So because it, basically the job of a museum is preservation, and they have to think about the whole, for a canvas, it's pretty easy to preserve it, or easy. There are a lot of questions, of course, how you can be sure that humidity, fire, whatever, won't affect the work, that it cannot be, that it will still be there in 100 years potentially. And for digital, it's much more complex, and especially the blockchain. Even if we say blockchain is forever, you have much more questions, connected with this, if the, basically ownership, the wallet, the image, the metadata, and the blockchain itself. And so by owning a node, it means that potentially, even if tomorrow the Ethereum blockchain, have some issues, they will still be able to run the blockchain. This is basically the idea of preservation. But okay, Fanny, let's talk about, I think it's a big topic, and I love this idea of preservation. I love this idea also of and this is like, evangelization, education, and especially in the middle of the Bay Area, because a lot of people has been talking about it. It was kind of the inside joke. It was like the question, for the Node Foundation, will you help to chill our back to Silicon Valley billionaires? I think it was like the thing, because Mickey Malka have this kind of profile, of, I think he's, basically the Node Foundation is just open in like a few minutes from his startup that is based also in Palo Alto. We know, all of us, have all these stories of crazy Palo Alto, the Silicon Valley, the social network, Facebook movie, the Stanford University, the, all the stories of the last 70 years of the Silicon Valley, and the story of computer science.
The first Apple store,
First Apple, exactly.
that Mickey mentioned during the programming, because for him it was very important that Steve Jobs would go every single day to perfect every single detail in the first store, and this is really what they want to do with that space, really just saying this is the first, it's not perfect but we'll make it better and we'll work on it. So
exactly. So but okay, let's maybe, and maybe I will share my screen also just to show their Twitter so we can visualize a little bit. Or
I have a few links as well if you want.
Okay, feel free to share the links also. Okay. So, because I think, it's important just to talk about the space itself, maybe to start, the experience, because you mentioned that, Fanny, that they don't want this to be just something, that is only visual, but something also pretty experiential. And so maybe, you can tell us a bit more about this space, basically.
Yeah, I'll try. I think they have a nice video on their Twitter here, so I can show you a little bit, just I mean, it's not going to explain to you, but you pretty much have. So that's in the middle. So it's important to say that it's at the corner. You can see here. They brought 1,000 people for the opening, which was insane in Palo Alto. And that now going forward, anybody working around can actually come in this person and look and discover the project. So it's really meant as a brick and mortar space that people can go to. And the way they thought about the space was that the first room, and let me go to right-click save article, which we'll share because it's a great feedback. Summary of the weekend by Amicia, who is one of the founders of Automata. And also based in the Silicon Valley. So the first room, so you enter, and the first room actually shows displays like that. What you can see on that side is that the code is actually on display, like an artwork, it's the entire code of the CryptoPunk project on this side. And then on there's a screen here that you can not here, here. So here there's a screen, and it just displays some information on the activity, the market activity. So the market, we said preservation, but this is really part of the exhibition. And what you can do with this screen is that we don't see it here, but what you could do, and I don't know if you can see my little card here, but what you could do was to put a card like that, very heavy. So I don't know if you can see, I don't know how to do the influencers are doing.
Yeah, it's a metal with the nails. Yeah, tick, 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 tick. Yeah, it's a metal card, a big, heavy metal card. Yeah.
Yeah. So very heavy, I feel really important and and so this was you could put it in a little box or a little podium, and it would show your punk, your CryptoPunk on the giant screen, and with all the transactions that it had when you purchased it, for how much, like who bid on it, like who owned it before you, like and where it is, and then showing it on the big screen, the CryptoPunk, and then on the side, on the columns and everything. So this is really about, the first room was really about your CryptoPunk, and the second room was actually showing you the CryptoPunk in like in 3D, like to show you like the different like layers of your CryptoPunk. So same thing, you would put your card, highly interactive like experience, and you would see like your CryptoPunk going like this, like back and forth, like with the 3D elements revealed, because some CryptoPunks have hidden elements. So let's say like you have a CryptoPunk with a big like hat or like a big hair, it might have a hidden earring, and people go crazy for hidden traits. That's a thing. And then you had a little coin that you could redeem. You could put in a how do you call that? Like just a.
I can show you. You know, I really like this video. You know, I think I have some videos of my own punk actually that I. You know, even if it's not the best videos, but you know, it's the first screen. You know, basically, it's really playful actually, because you know, you go there. I haven't shown, but you put your card in the box, and then you know, basically, you see your punk appearing like this on the big screen. And then I haven't shown, but on the first one is very. So you see the tray, you see how it works, and so the first room is very focused on the concept and especially the marketplace. So it's very focused on market, I would say. So what you can see when you insert your card is the provenance part of the project. So who's built, you know, all the transaction for which price all along the time and who owns it. So people were inserting the card and say, oh, I know this guy, he was owning it, or I know this guy, you know. And so you see really the concept with the provenance aspect of the blockchain, and also the fact that the marketplace is part of the artwork, you know, and that's also very obvious. Actually, you know, it's good to remind this because there are a lot of angles, you know, to describe the CryptoPunk project, and so you know, it's very focused. The first one is, you know, the way it was delivered as an experimentation, you know, by Matt and John in 2017 with this idea of we want to see if people do trade also digital collectibles, and so the trading part is part of the DNA of the project, you know.
Actually, at one point they even said, like Matt said, like during the programming, like the market is the medium, and everybody was like, "Ooh!" Like this was such a great quote, and you know, it's great that they embrace it, because there's this like weird thing in the traditional art market that like you never talk about the market, right? Like, and you never say I buy an artwork when you say I collect an artwork, you know, like and I don't know. I mean, people can, you know, comment and, you know, agree or not, but I think this was quite smart to just embrace it, not like, you know, like
and not even more in an institution, right? Like it's really like the place where you don't talk about the market and about the money and buying. So it's really interesting that they are really embracing as a first experience that they are giving to the viewer. Well, here you were more than a viewer, you're actually a participant. I wonder how it is when it's just people from the neighborhood walking by and there is no one to put their card. It's interesting to look at it as an educational aspect, and not just as being like an actual client, right?
Yeah, and I think it's a really good question, Pauline, actually, because it's also a point that for me will be very challenging, to be transparent. I think, you know, for me, it was obvious, you know, you have this experience. We had kind of a VIP experience, you know, when you're there, when you are a punk owner, you have your card, you know, you insert the card, you have all this animation. So, you know, 3 different rooms with 3 different ways, you know, to interact with the punk that you own. So, you know, the first one we mentioned is market. It's celebrating the market, you know. Actually, when Nikki has been doing in his introduction pitch, a sales, you know, a CryptoPunk sales happened at this time, and when a sale happened,
staged or not staged?
I'm sure it was staged.
So I know who's the buyer. The buyer is Tyler. Is Tyler from Good Vibes Club? You know,
So maybe someone was like very knowledgeable of that timing and then like
He
purchased.
was not the guy who bought. I know him. He was not in Palo Alto.
Okay.
So that's
That's another.
and it was the moment he was joining. He was I know that the day before he's been buying one first CryptoPunk, and he started to become crazy about it because in the CryptoPunk Telegram he was chatting, and everybody, you know how it is, the Telegram, everybody's welcoming the new owners and blah blah blah, and so yeah, it's the founder of Good Vibes Club basically. So I don't know. I don't know.
No, maybe not. Maybe not.
I think it was not on purpose, to be honest. I don't.
So let me share my screen. Like when you so sorry, I cut you, but like
be honest,
the intro speech.
Yeah.
Like,
because to be honest, I think it was too perfect to be prepared. What I mean.
Nice. Maybe. So look, I'm gonna show you like actually like.
Maybe you can zoom a little bit on the. Hey. So yeah, it was the intro pitch exactly. And at this moment,
they look surprised.
They look surprised. No, it's yeah.
So yeah, on this
trading, it was like it was all pink, right? And you had like
you have a big animation. Actually, it's very focused on the market. So when you don't do the animation when you insert your card, this big screen is just showing on chain. Everything that you can see on the CryptoPunk marketplace, basically, it's all the new bids, the new sales that are happening. And so when a sale happens, you have a special animation also, materializing the marketplace.
And so I think to go back to like how the exhibition was set up, there's actually the second so the first room is just your CryptoPunk in history, like the second room is your CryptoPunk in volume. And actually I do have a video of just to show you what it looks like, because it's quite interesting as well. And never mind. And the third one was actually the CryptoPunk within like the context of the 10,000 others. And this third room was actually.
I just found the video of the second one that I took also. So I will basically, it's a breakdown of the tray of the CryptoPunk. Let me just cap, because I think I'm always talking and doing joke while I'm doing this kind of thing. So, you see the box a little bit, my card is in the box, and then it's revealing your punk. And then, basically you can see this 3D animation where, it's breaking down all the tray like this. So, it's very focused also on tray discovery and tray experiences. So that's the second room. That is a small room in the middle that is a bit like a lounge, where people can enjoy this. And please go ahead, Fanny. Yeah, you're on mute.
Sorry. And then the third room is really like it's a giant screen like this. So you think it's a screen, right? Like, but actually. I mean, another way to show you what it looks like is, like during the evening, it looks like that. It's all like different colors. So you think it's just a projection, but actually all of these tiny CryptoPunks are stickers that have been like stick to the wall one by one. And for that, like there was an exhibition designer, Kian, who you might know from, he's a designer behind the Bright Moments, Crypto Citizens. So I don't know if you remember like these little guys like here, but he's the designer who like helped do that. And so the joke was like they were like really making sure that every pixel was in the right place, and they were not kidding. And then the only projection was the colors that it would show. So you could actually, again, put your card in, it would highlight your punk, and then like display like display like different like colored animations on top of the screen. So you could see like during the programming, meaning that's the room where the talks were. So they were actually like even putting sentences on top of the punks. But this is all kind of like with the punks in the back, which is quite insane.
Yes, and what I'm showing you the small animation. So it's crazy because it's projection on top of physical print, basically, I would say, with the stickers. And so it's playing, it's really a big light play. They play a lot with light to show fonts. It's very impressive, to be honest. This room is very impressive for presentations and everything because the background is always the printed punks, and they play with light. So when you insert the card, what I'm showing now is again my punk again, and actually it's pretty nice because it's showing the other punks that you own. So for example, I zoom here. It's lighting up the punk of the NFT morning, actually, that is in the same wallet. And so showing all the punks you own. So it's showing also like this. But you have a lot of different, sorry, I'm showing my personal pictures now.
If you want, I have on my screen, I have the other way.
Perfect. So so I will share your screen also. But you can see, basically they play with lights to display to have this kind of display. They have different kind of display that are really cool, actually. Yeah, exactly. What Fanny is showing also. It's actually technically I think it's very impressive because they have really a way to localize every punk on the 10,000 and play with light and show them with different ways, or it could be just a presentation screen, basically, where you can just have so it's
and the traits, to go back to the traits on the side wall, you actually have the traits like written down. I'm just gonna show you and Matt and John actually were well, these traits were not supposed to be displayed on a museum wall or an exhibition wall. So sometimes it's actually, they were we just named it weird stuff. And so one thing, I think it says beard, front beard, and it was how can it be a back beard? So they were we were not supposed to share this. So
but this is what makes the project fun also. It was an experience. Two guys in their garage almost, or in their office, doing preparing this without anticipating, of course, how big it will become. So
I think they did it quite fast. They did it quite fast. They did it in less than a year from the moment they got the keys. Because Phil is used to be at Bright Moments, is the director of the gallery, and he was saying that I think it was 355 days, just from the moment he got the keys to the opening. Shall we talk about the swag?
Yeah, can I ask you a quick question? Because I wasn't there. Sorry, but you talked about the preservation at first as an institution, and what you're showing right now is really interesting. And I'm sorry, I'm going back at it because I think this is great as a punk, but I'm trying to see, because institutions are here for education, and I think they're here for preservation and they're here for education as well. I think you talked about Palo Alto as well, right? On the fact that it's in the berceau of tech. You have Stanford right next door, and so on. And do you think the people that will come there will get it because they are very well versed digitally and so on? Do you think you're gonna have people coming from San Francisco who don't know nothing about it? Do you think they will understand and get away with something? I mean, it's not. It's really a sincere question.
We are very excited. You're just killing the vibe now.
No, no. I'm not, because I think Fanny, what you explained about the node is really interesting, and I think this is very valuable.
To be honest, I believe my vision of this is that so far what we saw was very focused on punks. This is really the vision. If you ask me the question, John, what you saw in Palo Alto, is it a good space for educate? I would say at this stage, the way we saw it, for me, it's no. But I believe also, to be transparent, I give the credit to them that the space will, I see it a bit like, actually, even, I had the chance to be at the Beeple Charleston studio opening. That was very focused on people from the community. And then, he's been using the canvas that he created, this huge immersive room, to create different experiences. And some of them are very focused on locals. Some of them were more focused on Pepe, CryptoPunk, artist communities. So my point is, so far for me, we will see. So far, it's still something to be proved, to be seen, to be developed, to be exhibited. But maybe Fanny, sorry. Maybe Fanny, you have another. You can share a bit more about it.
I agree. I mean, this is we've done education in different settings. Like, I've seen how hard it is to build an education program, and I don't like the word being thrown around lightly, because not everybody can do education. Or will do education. And I know it's part of the 3 pillars and of Node. I think Mickey talked a lot about, in interviews, about hands-on education, and I really, this is my call to them to really actually realize that promise. And as John mentioned, I don't know how, but I also think that they would be the perfect people to innovate in what hands-on education means, because they created that for the punks. Fine, okay, yes, not replicable if you don't own a punk, which is not to everybody, but I think you can use a lot of what they've created and create a personalized educative experience. And just one anecdote that Mickey mentioned during the opening, during the programming, was that...
So good. I'm so happy to have you, Fanny, because I was not listening to any talk, and thanks to you, I can have the summary now.
Well, you can follow the Twitter, because I tweet, I live tweeted.
No, it's crazy. Everybody, actually, if you want to know everything that happened, and even better than people who's been there, just follow 100 Collector on Twitter, because Fanny has been live tweeting like crazy all along the weekend.
Well, and you know why? I will tell you, the truth is that this is my only way to actually pay attention. So this is really the only attention help. But that said, one thing that Mickey said was that the vending machine, where you had a coin given at the entrance, and you would put it in a vending machine, like a kid, and you would get a bowl with a gift inside, which were this little...
Yeah, it's like a geisha box in Japan, or stuff like that. Yeah.
And so you would get that's a regular one, but you would get a zombie one, or you had a few rare ones. That was an idea by their intern from Stanford, and they just said great, go with it, run with it, and
I would love to have an intern from Stanford, personally. We don't have the same interns so far.
I'm sure your interns are great, but Stanford interns hit different, I would say. But that's the thing that I think, because they're also so close to Stanford, they will have the perfect interns, or more senior people, to innovate on, and I don't know if I would call it hands-on education, but maybe I think there's an edutainment, educative entertainment. I think this is kind of what we can hope for art museum to do, without falling into the ice cream museum or the color factory, where you learn nothing and it's just an Instagrammable background, right? It is highly Instagrammable, what they produce, because it is very well designed, but I think with that, it's a very clever design as well. So I have huge hope for the next ones, and I do believe the next artist is actually going to be Beeple taking over the space.
And they have been posting as well this Occupy thing, where I think they're going to do that residency, right?
So it's a way that artists can submit projects that they will review, and to take over the space and innovate with on-chain art. Side note, I really do hope they pay artists who are not the people maybe at the CryptoPunk level, or acquire their work, or like find a way of like like not reproducing like the digital artists having to pay for their own show in time, money, or anything else. I think this is something that I hope will be. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will be.
Yeah, but and I'm showing the last room actually that we haven't mentioned, that was actually dedicated to people also, with this huge digital sculptures, that now we are used to see in some, of course, in some museums, especially in Asia, and also Beeple Studio, where you can see this creation. So yeah, it was. I think we don't need to focus too much on this, but it was also already one big piece of Beeple that was exhibited there. And so yeah, you mentioned that. So it's not only about CryptoPunks. So we will see the exhibition. They did also this, I would call that open call, but whatever it is, call to get artists exhibited. And I think they have a lot of applications. And I kind of agree with you on this. I trust the team, to be honest. I do trust the team so far. I believe first, what I see, in terms of, so far it was really like very punks house, punks club experience, I would say. But even the way they did it was well done. The way they've been, it was not just, really they've been investigating, they've been developing, they've been breaking down the project, they've been trying, to materialize different angle of the project, with different experiences, and have something very playful. And even with, just the technologies they've been developing, even the software one, the marketplace one, the one, breaking down the tray, etc. I already see that they could turn into something fun. They could reproduce and recreate something where they give virtual call to people coming in, and they can play with the card, and they give a character. It could be extended to explain with different ways the CryptoPunk project, but even other project, I believe. I think like they have, from what I saw, they have a lot of pressure, in a way that all of our eyes, in a way, are looking at them like, come on, guys, everybody has failed in a way or another by trying, to propagate these words. Why you will do something better with just a random space in Palo Alto? I'm just saying, what we could say. I feel like, they have the good minds. Yeah, as you mentioned, the Stanford intern, but also, the way they do it. I believe that the moments, and I believe it will take time, so I don't expect them to change the game, even in few months. But I believe that it could be in a year or two or something, you could start to see the way they really see education. Yes, please, Fanny.
No, please, go ahead.
No, just a quick remark, saying like, doing something for the community was it's even intrinsic, right? Like that's one of the pillar of the project. You were talking about the network, the marketplace, and so on. The community is one of what it is. It's what makes the project. So I think it's, it's brilliant, and it had to be done if you want to understand.
No, because especially in a way. And okay, maybe it's also something, topic, everybody's talking about this networked art that define also a part of the space, but the community is now part of is also part of the art, actually.
There was a great quote actually that was like, it's the networks that make the art work. The art work as a verb, and I was like, oh,
hey.
and, so no, and Pauline, like, again, I think something, well, actually, when Mickey had a question on preservation, because that was a question that I think Judy from Dada asked, almost like the same question as you, Pauline, on like what they're planning on like doing for preservation. Well, they were saying that like they actually did not even respond with the Ethereum node, which is quite massive to run a node like on site, you know. But they actually mentioned that the community was already doing most of the preservation of the project, which is quite true as well, right? Like I know it sounds cliche to say that, but keeping the community active is part of the preservation. And then you can argue, well, okay, well, it's the market and like and you know, but the interest in the project, when you think about it, like it's what museums do as well, right? Like when they do exhibitions, is to also keep people interested in artists and preserving their legacy. And so I think this is quite important. And to bounce on what you were saying, John, in terms of also them getting people like, you know, like the Palo Alto, okay, we mentioned Stanford, but like one thing that I mentioned at the beginning was that this was the same week as San Francisco Art Week. And so we actually, for Natalie asked 100 collectors to host events in San Francisco the days before the Node Foundation opened, and all the people that we've seen there, from like galleries, from like the Fog Art Fair, like from Gray Area, which is a digital art nonprofit in San Francisco, they all came to Palo Alto. And I think we can argue that, like, yes, they're not going to have 1,000 people traveling every time to Palo Alto, but the art scene in San Francisco is huge. And I think just having these people there, you know, I mean, as critical as it can be, is huge as well, right? Like, because most of the time you don't see people from like the art market like come to you know, like digital art shows. So I think this like inclusion of communities, like it's on its way, and also the fact that they have a board where both Matt and John, the founders of the CryptoPunks, sit, and Eric, the founder of Art Blocks, is quite also encouraging, you know, like that, like all of these are artists.
No, but I think, yeah, but I think, you know, from the day one of the acquisition, of course, you know, I don't want to criticize Yuga Labs, but, you know, when you're going from an IP owned by Bored Ape to something that is not commercial, something that is a foundation, something that basically promise to not make it something, will not release a new, you know, will try to preserve, as we mentioned, you know, as much as, you know, with the first mission being just there. You know, I think, you know, we need to understand that from where it's going, you know, it's going from Yuga, where all the community was just, you know, comparing CryptoPunk, you know, that with all the other PFP projects that were selling utility. And, you know, this is their main issue for all of them, you know, CryptoPunk, Bored Ape first, you know, that everybody is dumping on their face and criticizing them because they've been acquiring some kind of, Bored Ape is kind of a share of a bigger project, even if technically it's not an equity or whatever. So, and it's been always, you know, punk owners, and if you've seen the telegrams in the Discord from now, you know, since this 2022 phase where, okay, it was complicated because all the space changed, you know, all the punk owners say, we don't want tokens, we don't want utility, we don't want airdrops, we don't want you to use to create a video game, we don't want whatever. You know, it's an art project. And I think, you know, the fact that it's moved from Yuga, who was basically collecting all these Moonbird / Bored Ape / whatever IPs, you know, to create something like a metaverse game and the clubs and stuff, to something that is very art focused and focused. You know, again, we're talking about preservation because I think preservation is also interesting because it really means, you know, it's already enough, I would say, for the CryptoPunk community. This, not even if it's not, you know, we'll see the education layer later, But so far, just having a foundation focused on just making the project work and making it work, it's already something, being sure that the marketplace, because, it's technology, it's evolving, you have new web browser, you have new wallets, you have new, just being sure that the project is maintained, just being sure that, basically it works and you have some gatekeeper, owning the IP, and that will not start potentially, to try to dilute the brand into something too commercial. And I think this is really the first way, the first time, you see really the project with art eyes, and that was not the case with Yuga, basically.
Yeah. And I think this is this is easy to be very critical, when there's something new and actually fun. It's actually, I realize that people have a tendency to criticize before looking really in depth when something looks fun. And I think this is a trait of the art market, that the art market lost the fun. And things can be serious and important and fun at the same time. And I think this is let's see in 6 months, because I think we also have to be, as you said, just holding them onto their promise. Everything looks great when you open, but then it's let's see in 6 months. But I think this is promising, and it's the art for the art, right? But I do for me, one utility of this project and the fun is the community meeting. I mean, the community is amazing, right? You meet people who don't go to many events, right? A lot of the punk holders are devs or people who don't go to any art events. We had a lot of CryptoPunk holders come to the gallery events, and even the tour we did of the Fog Art Fair, which is very traditional painting art fair. So that's great to see. And how we haven't mentioned the swag, the merch, but
swag. Hey. So
I mean, you have to let Fanny show the swag.
I know. I'm dying. I'm here. I'm I have everything prepared.
Okay, Fanny,
okay.
Just
all right.
show us.
First stickers.
So you're gonna look like a TikTok person trying to sell something, with the
the nail.
I don't know. So Edouard always has the best stickers. So first, many punks had stickers of their own punk. So I already showed you the pin that became collectors, because people were trying to get all the different ones. You had the different skin color, there was the zombie, the alien, all of that, and then you had a gift store. So you had a great tote bag, very pink. Maybe John, you can show us the hoodie or not.
Yes.
They also had hoodies, and then they had hats. So let me tell you the story of the hats. The hats, you had two different hats. One was for sale and one was not for sale. The not for sale was blue, the same background as the CryptoPunks when they are not for sale. And this orangey background actually mentioned they're the backgrounds for the punks that are for sale. The hat for sale was actually cheaper than the hat not for sale. And I'm still not sure about the logics behind, because if you're not for sale, you pay more, but you have diamonds hands, so you're not selling your punk. I'm not sure, but anyway, I'm a cheap, so I got the cheap one for sale.
Hey. So that's that's Bright Moments.
Bright Moments had a great event where they were actually giving away swag, because Seth was I'm not storing that in my garage anymore. You had the Meebit.
I didn't get the Meebit one.
It's the best one. Oh my god. And the last one, Node had a few tote bags. I'm a big tote bag person, as you can see. So yeah,
that's nice. That's nice. But I got the chance. I got my Bright Moment hoodie and
Yes.
I'm really proud of it. It's really cool. And I bought my CryptoPunk hoodie. It's very pink. It's very pink. It's very
Very.
pink. So I'm not sure. I believe I need to walk a bit. My body to be able to wear this kind of thing, because otherwise if you're small and not I think it's weird to wear this kind of thing, but it's I'm
Oh,
happy
and
to have
actually, the last one I did not, I don't have here, but it was you could create a personalized Lego based on your punk. So Eric Snowfro printed like the little punks on a little body of a Lego, and then you could assemble like pick a pants and a head, and then put it in a little box as a souvenir, which was quite really cute.
Yeah, this is really this is Snowfro. Is amazing. It's really the mentality also of CryptoPunks. That when you think that a guy like Eric Snowfro, that is basically a super rock star in the space, he spends maybe a few days to assemble for each punk, this kind of small, basically a personalized, because of the blurb. I'm not sure you can see it. Let me unblurb myself quickly. But basically, he's been creating some personalized CryptoPunk for each people who show up. And so, he created this for me, for example, so you've been able to print it and to assemble your own Lego and collect it. I don't know how, he told me he spent days and days to do it. And he told me at the moment I was doing this, I realized that I was too crazy. And, it's also showing the community, because, it's genuine in a way. You have people who, their time are pretty big value in a way, and they spend time, to do small stuff or big stuff for the community. And I think it was also something very, very obvious.
It's fun, I think it's like, if I have one word to summarize, it's
and actually, I had this personalized gifts also. You didn't get this one. Actually, it's Sean Bonner who offered that to me. And I'm very lucky because it's a book. Actually, Reid Hoffman was there. Reid Hoffman is the founder of LinkedIn. And he created some it's a book of Reid Hoffman, basically super agency, about AI and future. But it's a personalized version, for my CryptoPunk. So you see like 8569. And he inserted, some AI stuff. Basically it's co-authored by Reid Hoffman and my own CryptoPunk, basically. And in the middle, okay, you have the book, but you have a lot of pages where you can see a lot of creations, derivative, AI generated with your own CryptoPunk items. I think, I was lucky enough because I think it was, they did this gift for some VIPs. And as I was very early to join the Telegram, I think at the beginning, Sean, was not sure he would do a lot. So he contacted me to ask me for my punk number and created one for me. So I was lucky enough to get this, but it's, it's also interesting. And, Reid Hoffman was really involved into also doing this, Reid Hoffman, so the founder of LinkedIn, he created an AI video the day before publishing and educating in his, it's part of the, the community, to come back to your question, Pauline. I think the community has a role to play for education. And I think they will play on this, when you see what LinkedIn founder has been doing, creating an AI video about CryptoPunk the day of the launch, he's involving himself. And, it's each, basically all of us, all the people who joined the project, they joined the project because someone else talked about it. And they joined digital art initially also because some people talked about it. And I think they want to play on this layer also, that is community. But so, yeah. Rem.
Yeah.
Maybe you have some comments.
No, well, like Pauline, I didn't have the chance to be with you for this opening. And I think that there is I had lot of things to say, but I don't want to be too much critics.
Ren is always, in the mood of criticizing.
No, but I don't want to say something wrong about it, because I think it's really a great initiative. They put a lot of resources, and it seems the place seems really impressive. So we can congratulate them for that. But I think we have, if I well understand, two kind of experiences if you have an owner of CryptoPunk or not. And so I really understand, obviously, the interest for the owner, but maybe for everyone else, you can cover the subject pretty quickly. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think, I mean, I totally agree. I think this is this remains to be seen, because the weekend was definitely, well, I think so. I might be mistaken, but like I think what happened is that the homecoming of the punk, as they called this opening, was really meant as a whole weekend for the holders, right? For that community. The event got like so big or so looked so important that like many other people who do not have punks were like, well, I'm gonna come, right? And then I think at one point it was like, I think it was like, oh, like 1,500 like RSVPs, and the organizers could see that they were not all crypto holders, right? And so so they had to figure out a way to make the weekend work for punks holders and people who are RSVP'd but who did not have a punk. I think this is then hopefully, and I don't know like how they're thinking about like the like day-to-day like people coming off the street experience, and I think this would be a great question for them, or like to see if you know someone in Palo Alto, let's ask them to go next week, because it's a real question, because you do lose like the entire like interactive element if you're not a CryptoPunk holder. However, I do think this is a replicable experience to have aspects like that, but that are not related to market ownership, right? Like I think this is some things that like the card, like the like just the whole experience, like it can be done. Or you might say like even like something simple as like pick one at the entrance, pick one you like. You don't own it, but you can still kind of relate to it. It doesn't have to be ownership. Actually, that's a great idea. I should tell them that.
Yeah, this is exactly, we talked about it. I really think like they have the tool to start to do something very, fun and educational, and playing, even reproducing the minting experience, and even something, I think, there are many ways to play with that. But so far, Rem, we don't know because it was, the event was really, again,
focus on the owners.
It was really, you had this kind of feeling. You have your small punk card. Even, I remember I arrived at the very opening. It was after 4:20 because, it's also some inside joke, always, you always have the 4:20, 69 in the space. So it was the opening was at 4:20 p.m. And when I arrived at 4:20, actually, I realized that, it was very punk. If you're not, it was punk only, actually. And punk +1 eventually. Actually, I've been managing because I had a lot of +1s because I'm generous. So I had to a bit play to bring all my friends, my non-punk friends inside the space. But I was successful to do it because I was really, really the first one to come, and they were not ready to refuse people. But I think it was very, very punk focused at the beginning. The same, even for the OpenSea branch that they organized, they did a punk branch that that it's been happening the last 2 years all around the world beside each event. So it was a side event that was the punk brunch, so not in the gallery, but in the same, they were asking actually your punk metal card in the entrance, to confirm that you own a CryptoPunk. So it was really, very focused, and even, and then, during the weekend, so the opening was Friday 4/20, then it was kind of the VIP, it was an opening weekend. So, first party for VVIPs that are the CryptoPunks in a way, then the VIP opening on Friday evening, some invitations, and then some more open stuff, on Saturday, and totally open on Sunday, something like this, so with different layers of opening. But, even when you came for the VIP one or for the other ones, there was a long lineup, long queue, and, just came in with your CryptoPunk, you have short, fast pass in a way to not line up in front of the building and go directly inside. So they really played this kind of, punk focus VIP experience that it's, and I think they really wanted to, the main objective of this, of this opening was really to make feel punk at home, really. So for the next step, on the, I don't know. I don't know what they will do and how they will do, and they will open to more artists, and they will have. Pretty sure they will try to work on some programs, to educate people. Then it's more complex topic, and it's all the question of the role of the physical space. Does it make sense to do it only physically? Does it make sense to do it more like in partnership with different museums and different institutions? So far, I don't know what they want to do.
But we sorry. We already know it's not a pop-up place.
No. So actually, another thing that Mickey mentioned during the programming day was that he said it in a funny way. He mentioned that, like, on top of like the name being a node, was that it was supposed to be replicable, right? Like, so that they would develop like exhibition concepts, technologies as well, that could also be used by other institutions. And I think they do hope that like more traditional institutions take inspiration and use technologies that they're creating. I think more than like, I think he said it in comparison to like, we're not going to give money around, right? Because probably like people have seen the endowment amount that they have. It's 25 million. People are like, ooh, maybe I guess they can pay me for like an exhibition of the punk. And so he nipped it in the bud, being like, we're not going to throw money around, but if you want to use the technologies we are developing, this is why it's called a node, that it's meant to be replicable on other locations or in other, like existing institutions. So it's a very clever way to say that. Americans.
And you talk about a lot about preservation of CryptoPunk and NFTs, and I know it's not the subject of the today's episode, but in the same time you didn't mention, but they had the announcement of Nifty Gateway shutdown. It was, I think it's, maybe I'm wrong, but it was in the middle of the Node Gallery launch. So did that have any impact on the atmosphere of the event? Did the enthusiasm drop off after that announcement?
Not at all.
Well, okay. I think it like reinforced the fact that like, CryptoPunks are all stored on chain. Right. So the problem that we currently have, I just withdrew my NFTs from a Nifty Gateway. So like, I can tell you about it, like it's pain in the, because the files on Nifty Gateway are stored on IPFS, or like, they're like stored on right now they're stored on like even private servers on Nifty Gateway. And so that's the real issue of, first, if you don't withdraw your NFTs from Nifty Gateway, well, they disappear because the platform is shutting down. And if you withdraw them, but they're still linked to IPFS or like a private server, if Nifty
Mhm.
Gateway stops paying, well, then it's gone. Now they just announced like that they're moving to Arweave, which is a more like permanent storage, but still, you know, like we had this case, I think Edouard reported on it, that Arweave like forgot to pay their like Web2 domain name, and that broke like all the links, which is insane, you know, insane in like the security and like the preservation. So I think this reinforces almost even more like the fact that like the preservation for the CryptoPunk project and for fully on-chain project is really preservation of the blockchain and the community, which they are doing by running a node and by keeping the
Mhm.
community active.
But yeah, so that's really important. And yeah, just to mention actuality, so Nifty Gateway announced the shutdown. In the same time, Foundation/Rodeo also has been acquired by Black Dove, but it's also a slow, I would say, a slow way of dying. So it's and yeah, so all of them are now communicating a lot about the preservation part actually of their assets. So Nifty Gateway, after everybody was complaining because they just came like telling everybody they have only 30 days to withdraw their asset, and I finished this morning also to withdraw my assets, Fanny, and it's really really boring. On top of the fact that you have to pay 50 cents every time you are withdrawing one.
My one by €1, 150.
One by one.
One by one.
Yes.
By one. And in the same time, you know, Rodeo and Foundation also have a kind of migration program and something that we will follow. And actually, we have the Edouard will be in the morning also on Monday, not this Monday, but the following one on the 9th of February to talk a bit more, because he's on top of this conservation topics now.
Yeah, and I think this is one that like the episode that I will not miss and that nobody should miss, because also Edouard has been developing a tool to assess like the risk on everybody's NFTs, and really since the shutdown of Club NFT, which was backing up like your NFTs, and we're kind of left with nothing. Just, you know, like when platforms shut down, like every time, you know, if any builder is hearing us right now, like this is
that's really it's a big topic. And so but basically also just in terms of mood, general mood, so we mentioned, you know, that it's all the point, you know, with this CryptoPunk, it's the question, and I think it's the only mission, it's only, you know, even if they're not good tomorrow in education, just the fact of working on preservation is already a big topic, because this is, you know, the minimum, you know, basically in the Maslow pyramid of what you need as a NFT holder, the first step is preservation, you know, being sure that your asset will not disappear, basically. So that's really the first thing. And so that's the good thing. But also, you know, I was chatting a bit about Nifty actually I had you know, I think maybe the three last artists who's been doing stuff on Nifty Gateway, they were also at Node Foundation. So Dave Krugman, Sam Spratt, F. Dot. And so you know, to be honest, they were not so affected by the end of Nifty Gateway. I think, you know, they didn't say it this way, but my feeling was that even the last 2 or 3 years, this artist has been doing more for Nifty Gateway that Nifty Gateway has been doing for this artist, you know. And actually, I had a nice chat with Evdot. He told me at the beginning, Nifty Gateway was magic. So you know, anyone, even, you know, someone that was not famous, who was dropping on Nifty Gateway was generating huge amount of sales, you know, in 2020, 2021. But the last 2 or 3 years, you know, actually Sam Spratt has been bringing people to Nifty Gateway by doing his drop there. And all the other artists is the same. So, and also it was not a huge surprise, to be honest, for most of the people there. Of course, it's shocking, but, you know, except these 3 artists that I mentioned, and at the end of the day, one of them is huge, one of them is very big, and one of them, you know, is growing, I would say. You know, it was not like, we're talking about, we've not been talking about Nifty Gateway except for some strat drops actually the last 2 years. So it was not so active. And so, yeah, it was not like, for me, I was more shocked last year when Maker's Place, for example, shut down, because it was a moment where we were seeing Maker's Place people everywhere at every event. I was even working on a showcase with them. So it was really sudden. Here, Nifty was never really active in our space except for a few drops. So yeah, it was not like such a big deal. I don't know what you think.
I mean,
I'm not agree. No, I'm not agree, because Nifty is not only Nifty, it's also Gemini. It's backed by Gemini. So it was I was surprised because I thought with I don't know how can I say that, but
in French.
No, but I was surprised because I didn't think Gemini let Nifty die like this, in fact.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm disappointed by Gemini also. But even if at the end of the day, it's kind of Gemini acquired, and I think Nifty Gateway died also because they belong to Gemini. But it's another topic. But when the founders are not in the team anymore, in a market that is not generating as much volume as it used to do, Gemini is just acting like any other investors who are seeing something that is not generating money, just shut down the service, end of the story. I was also disappointing because I was hoping them to do stuff. And I saw, actually, they've been sponsoring when I was in Singapore in November. They've been sponsoring Token 2049, and Nifty Gateway was present at this moment. And Gemini was also showcasing. I was actually hoping, to be in touch with them, and I was trying to chat with the remaining Nifty Gateway team to have them as sponsor for NFC. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but that's in another way I understand. Acquisitions already. When a big company is acquiring a successful service, it's already really complex to not shut it down. So when you are doing this in a market where volumes of today are maybe less than 1% of the volume they used to do in 2021, and I say less than 1%, maybe I'm nice with that. So so yeah, and you don't have the people who's been funded the company, to keep the vision. I don't believe.
No, I mean, and it's really like the story of every startup acquired by like a large company, and the large company behind have like very different, like time frame in terms of like objectives and ROI, and that's like there's just no. Nobody's gonna just keep it because they believe in NFTs, they'll be back.
But actually, it's the topic we will talk again about actually on Monday, my dear Raymond, maybe in French. So on Twitter Space, so we'll talk exactly about this on. We'll talk about it. What in the news of the space that we will have. So
to be continued.
To be continued, because it's a big topic, and I know that.
Well, I will come because I have a lot to say.
We have all of us want to talk a lot about it, and also about the foundation and Rodeo. Hey, cutie.
I'll bring him on Monday.
So, but I think, to be honest, we have a lot of things to talk about, but it's been already like 75 minutes together. And I believe all of us have things to do. So just, maybe, a conclusion that is not a conclusion, because we already mentioned that it's just the first step of a journey that will start. Fanny, maybe.
I would say let's keep an open mind, and I hope we manage to mention a few exciting things, and while being critical, and give it 6 months. Let's do another episode with Node in 6 months, and let's see.
And we like to do this, so we'll do more episodes, and I think we'll cover it So let's see. Thank you very much, Fanny. Thank you, Pauline. Everybody, I really recommend you because we haven't mentioned everything you've been doing all along the weekend, and we will need actually one more hour, to talk about it. But all these showcases, these visits that you did in San Francisco with the Trevor Paglen show by Fellowship, with you mentioned the gray area. I haven't followed everything with.
We did a private tour of the Fog Art and Design Art Fair. We did a viewing of the exhibition of a gray area, which is a digital art space in the Mission District, followed by dinner for our members. And then Trevor Paglen had a show, not with Fellowship. Fellowship was earlier. This was at a very established gallery that he's been represented by, called Jessica Silverman. So Trevor is represented by Pace and Jessica Silverman, and we did a Meet the Artist, where the artist talked about his work in the gallery, and that was quite amazing. I think if you scroll down one more tweet, there's the recap that Pauline did. One more. Here that's everything. But it was San Francisco Art Week is a great, I would recommend it to anybody. It's a really under the radar art scene in San Francisco, but really quality.
That's really cool. And so there were a lot of really good, I would say side event. How we can see here also Alejandro. Iconic, Alejandro Cartagena, iconic picture series, and there are a lot of cool stuff. I missed this part because I came too late in the Bay Area, but I really wanted to be there. And actually, it's a good summary that you can have in this 100 collector video. So from San Francisco to Palo Alto, and so that's there were a lot of cool side events, including you, and especially with your ones. Some others, you mentioned Bright Moments. Also, everybody now is crazy about vibe coding. So Seth has been organizing his vibe coding stuff in San Francisco. Also, Seth Goldstein from Bright Moments, because he's really deep into that. So even for MeBeat, also they've been organizing their brunch and also some vibe coding stuff. So it was a lot.
Super Chief as well. After
Super Chief has been doing a visit in San Francisco, also of their new area that they have in town. So a lot of things, but I really wanted to thank you, Fanny, Pauline. We will see you again the last week of February for the next 100 morning. Technically, so far, it's planned on February 24th, but stay tuned because, date can always change. And I just wanted to thank you. And for people following NFT Morning, we will talk again on Twitter, and in French, actually, on Monday morning to just news about the space. And on Tuesday, we will have a room focused on
what's happened during NFT Paris without NFT Paris.
Exactly. So a special non-NFT Paris space on Tuesday. So
there are a lot of events in Paris. There are a lot of events, Danae, Artverse, really, really cool.
Exactly. So we'll have the chance, to have all of them, but we need to invite them, actually, Rem. So they will be there on Tuesday. A lot of things to do now. So now, thank you, everybody. It was great to have you, and have a great day, basically, and good morning.
Morning.
Very morning.